Do you know the one thing that over 50% of all workers have in common? No? Well, keep on watching to find out. Welcome back, and if you're new, welcome to the channel. Thanks for clicking on the video. Please hit that like button before we get started. This video is all about the fastest way to live off your dividends. So yeah, when I speak to a lot of people about work, paying bills, etc., then one of the biggest things they come back with is they work for the weekend or they're just working to pay off bills. This video, I'm hopefully going to help you where you don't have to work no more and you can pretty much make money and never work again in your life. If you look on Google, one of the biggest searches on Google is how to earn money from never working again. And you can see it all over the internet now. People trying to make money from crypto, sugar daddies online, OnlyFans. You got all these kind of things. Another one that's catching on is living off dividends. If you are on YouTube, this is one that keeps popping up on my timeline or my YouTube homepage, is living off dividends, how to live off dividends, etc. Stuff like that. So that's what we're going to dive into in this video. And obviously, if you are watching this video, you're one of those people that want to earn money and never live again. Don't want to do that. Never work again and still make money. So yeah, over the years, a lot of people have started working more. After the pandemic, a lot of people are working from home, and then they've found out people working from home, they've started doing more work. So when they're working from home, people are actually putting in more time into their work without realizing it. So that's why a lot of people still work from home, and companies push for working from home because they realize that a lot of their employers are doing extra work or more work without even realizing it. You could be working on the weekend, putting in the extra hours. Like, you could just keep coming back to the laptop and doing work without even realizing it. You just built up those hours over the week instead of going to the office, doing the 40 hours and going home in the evenings. And especially at the moment with the cost of living and stuff going up, wages have stagnated, completely flatlined, while inflation prices are still skyrocketing. So that's a big issue we are currently facing, and pretty much we're trying to look at ways on how to battle that and get around it and not let it affect us. Luckily for us, there is hundreds of ways that we can now make money without even clocking in and doing a day's work in our life, and that's what we're going to touch on now. I'm going to give you a couple of tips or a couple of ways on how you can make money without never working a day in your life again. Firstly, you could move in with your parents, live in their basement, basically play Call of Duty until 2 o'clock in the morning and just live off your parents. Secondly, you could go off the grid and hope a pack of wolves take you in and show you the ropes on how to live in the wild. Maybe those two options are there for you. Or you could take another route and possibly earn and live off dividends. Maybe that is an option for you. So how can you live off dividends as fast as possible? Let's get into it. It is simple, yes, but simple does not mean easy. So it's going to be tough, but it will pay off in the long run. Like I said, put in the work now and then you'll be able to live off your dividends and never work a day again in your life. Becoming a millionaire is simple. All you got to do is get $1 million or £1 million. But yeah, getting £1 million is not simple. So yeah, it could be simple to become a millionaire, but it is not easy. To live off dividends comes down to two things. The first one is living expenses. This is probably the biggest one we need to be able to live off your dividends. So hit that like button below and I'll share with you how we can do that. So if you have a 3% dividend portfolio and your living cost is $60,000, you will need to invest $2 million to earn that $60,000 to live off. However, if you need $100,000 to live off, so your living cost is $100,000, you'll need to invest $3.3 million. So that just gives you an example of cutting down your living costs will allow you to be able to live off your dividends a lot quicker. So the higher your living costs are, the more money you're going to have to invest to be able to live off your dividends. So you can see the massive difference, and that massive difference could mean working an extra 10 years just to be able to make up that extra bit so you can, that living cost. So that's why massive emphasis goes on to your living cost. We need to lower that living cost as low as possible so it allows you to live off your dividends a lot quicker. So yes, you could save a couple of pounds or dollars there by not going out, buying a coffee every day in the morning. I've done a video on that, how much, if you buy a coffee every day and you stop doing that, how much you could save if you put that money of a coffee into investment, how much money you could have 10 years down the line by just stopping buying a coffee and making a coffee at home. So that's just something simple, but the biggest ones is housing, transportation, and food. If you can cut down on them, then that is going to be a massive bulk of money you're able to invest really quickly and build that portfolio to start living off dividends. And for most people, those three things add up to about 60 to 70% of your budget every month. So if you have like your savings, I'd say roughly 60% of your money goes onto those three things: housing, transportation, and food. So if we can cut back on that, then we are winning. So accommodation, I don't mean move out or go live with your parents or something like that just to save money. It's as simple as just downsizing. Like, do you need the house you're in? Do you need that to live comfortably, or do you need all that spare room, or can you downsize? It is literally that simple. Downsizing could save a lot of money on rent or mortgage payments. Second one, transportation. Again, just value it, look into it, and see if it does work out cheaper. So if you have got a car, maybe get a cheaper car, or maybe get rid of the car. See if you need to use the car as much as you do. So if you're driving to go meet mates, have a coffee, or just driving to work, see if there's other options that you can use to get those to places. So if you're going to work, maybe cycling, walking if it's close enough, maybe getting a bus, just work out the prices and see if it is cheaper than driving every day to work. Because remember, if you've got to drive, you've got to pay fuel, maybe pay parking if you're parking at the office or somewhere around work. And then you've got your car insurance, your car finance, like I said, wear and tear on your car. All these costs could be cut back by you just going onto a bus and traveling to a bus, trying to work on a bus, maybe buying a bicycle, cycling to work, or maybe even just walking to work if it's close enough for you to do that. And then finally is food. With food, I don't mean starve yourself. Obviously, just maybe look for cheaper options when you are shopping. So don't buy these high brands. You can buy like the next one down. They're normally made in the same factory by the same people. It's just the labeling that you're paying for. So maybe swap out a few items. Also, don't buy the stuff you don't need. Just buy the stuff you do need. Also, when it comes to food, it's like going out with mates on the weekends, grabbing a meal. Lunch times in work, don't just go out and buy lunch. Maybe start making lunch, taking it into work with you. These small details, if we start crushing these down, that money you're saving, you can chuck straight into your investments and start earning dividends a lot quicker. So yeah, we've touched on how to save money, what I recommend doing on the 3 biggest expenses in life. Now we're going to touch on dividends, stocks, where I recommend to put your money. I'm not a financial expert. This is just something that I think and what I've done my research on. Obviously, we want to invest in the most secure, safest way possible. We don't want to invest all our savings into certain companies, and then when you do reach that dividend goal and you start living off your dividends, that company then goes bust or drops its dividend payouts, stuff like that. So you want to try and get into the most secure companies possible, so when it comes to earning dividends, that dividend payout is continually growing and being there for you. Yeah, when it does come to picking dividends, you don't want to pick the high yield. So if you're looking at a company and they're currently offering 12% dividend, you may not want to go for that because it could be unstable. They may be doing that for a reason, to try and catch you out, draw you in. And then in a couple of years' time, that completely drops, or they just completely stop paying dividends. You want to try and get into those, like I said, stable ones like Coca-Cola, Microsoft. You know they've been around for over 50 years and they're constantly paying out. I think Coca-Cola is like a 3%, 2 to 3%, around that range. But you know that's a solid company. If you invest into them, you're pretty much in a really sound investment there. So that's one of the biggest things is when you do come to investment, you want to try and invest into dividend kings rather than just random people. So dividend kings is companies that's paid out dividends for a certain amount of years, and every year they've increased their dividend payout. So every year they're increasing their payouts. So if this year they paid out 2%, next year they could pay out 2.2%, and each year that just slowly keeps growing. And basically every year they've paid out, I think it's Dividend King, I think it's like over 50 years. So companies that's paid out dividends over 50 years maybe. So there's 2 kinds. I think Dividend Kings is over 50 years maybe. I have to double check that. But yeah, it's a company that's pretty solid and reliable. Those are the companies that you want to be investing in to have a solid portfolio, and you know you can live off those dividends in the future. And another way is don't have to invest in these companies individually. You can invest in the S&P 500. And again, S&P 500 is the top 500 companies. Pretty much most of them are dividend kings in the S&P 500. And again, with the S&P 500, it's perfect because, like I said, if a company goes bust and you got all your money in that one company, if they go bust and they drop and you lose everything, that won't happen in the S&P 500. So S&P 500 is always updating, having a top 500. If one company does drop out or change or something like that, S&P 500 will move them out, bring someone else in. So the S&P 500 always keeps, basically, they have a certain grade to get into the S&P 500. So that's why I highly recommend to put your money into that, because again, it's a lot secure and your investments is spread out across these 500 companies. So all your money isn't just put into one company. All your investment gets spread across these 500 companies. So if one drops out, it's okay because you've got this massive spread across all these companies. Thanks for watching. If you have watched it up until this moment, it means a lot. If you are interested in investing and you haven't invested yet, then I use Trading 212. Again, the link is in the description box below. So just scroll down, you can find the Trading 212 app or website. Click on there, sign up, start investing, and we both earn some free shares when you sign up. Also, if you already invest and you're looking for a tracker to keep a track of your dividends and your investments, then I use the Dividend tracker. Again, you can find that link below. Just jump on and start inputting your investments, and it'll start tracking you, tell you when they pay out, how much they're paying out, how much you'll be earning, etc. It breaks down all your stocks for you. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like button if you haven't already, and also please subscribe. I am on that road to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll see you in the next video.